Hello, PPS readers. My name is Mrs. Wu, and I'm the librarian for Pittsburgh Liberty and Pittsburgh Montessori. I have a fantastic book for you today that I'm so excited to share. It is a nonfiction book, and it is brought to you with permission from the publisher Chronicle Books. The book is called Animals Nobody Loves, and it's by Seymour Simon. Now, Seymour Simon has written many books that are really wonderful nonfiction, so you may want to look up some of his other books. Now, the spider on this cover, like many of the other animals you'll see in this book, is not a loved animal for several reasons. For some people, it might be the way they look. For some people, it might be the things that they do just because they're spiders. But in some cases, it's because people might not have the right information. Stories may have been spread about the animals in this book that are simply not true. We're going to find out more about that as we read this title. And at the end of this reading, there will be some follow-up activities that you can do at home. So stay tuned for that. Animals Nobody Loves. This book has text features like many nonfiction books do. And here is our table of contents. And in my table of contents, I have all the different chapter names, which are the animals in this book, plus their page numbers. Now we're going to start with the introduction so we can get a little bit of a better idea of what's in this title. Did you know that one blow of a grizzly bear can crush the skull of an elk? That a small fish called a piranha can be more dangerous than a shark? This book is about animals that few people like and nobody loves. Some of these animals are dangerous. Some are pests. Still others may seem strange because of their appearance. Many of the animals in this book have had stories told about them or books written about them. But it's likely that not everything you've heard or read about these animals is true. Some animals just have bad reputations that are not based on fact. Animals are not bad or evil. They do what they must in order to survive. You may never love a rattlesnake, a cockroach, or an octopus. But this book may help you begin to understand and respect them for what they are. All right, friends, I am going to flash back up on the screen that table of contents, and we're going to start with the animal that's on page number 10. If you guessed bat, you are correct. Let's learn about bats. They have gotten a very bad reputation lately, so let's find out more about them. Bats look like mice with wings. They look like birds too, but they are not. Bats' wings have no feathers. They are covered with skin. Some people think bats are blind because they fly back and forth so strangely. But bats are not blind. Bats can see, and they give off high-pitched sounds that echo back from objects to their ears. That helps the bats to navigate even in total darkness. Some kinds of bats eat fruit. There are also bats that catch small animals such as mice, bats that can catch small fish, and vampire bats which suck blood from animals such as cattle. People have many strange ideas about bats. Bats do not attack people. They do not get stuck in people's hair. In fact, most bats can be helpful to us because they eat insect pests such as mosquitoes. All right, going back to our table of contents. Tell me the animal we're going to read from page 14. If you guessed cobra, you are correct. And this is an Indian cobra. Let's read. This Indian cobra is only about 5.5 feet long. It is 1/3 the size of the largest poisonous snake in the world, the king cobra. The fangs in the front of a cobra's mouth inject a deadly poison that can paralyze a person or an animal. In about 1 of 10 cases, cobra bites are fatal. When threatened, a cobra spreads its hood by raising and pushing forward the long ribs behind its neck. The skin stretches across the ribs, forming a hood that may be 4 times as wide as a snake's body. Few sights are more terrifying than a 15-foot-long king cobra, its hood erect, preparing to strike. Next, we're going to learn about an ocean animal that you can find on page 22. And if you guessed devil ray, you are correct. The giant devil ray can measure more than 20 feet across. With their long whip-like tails and a pair of horns just in front of their eyes, perhaps it is their strange appearance and great size that made people fear them and call them devil rays. But this name gives the wrong idea about these peaceful animals. A devil ray is very powerful, but doesn't deliberately attack people. However, if harpooned, a devil ray may turn over a boat while attempting to escape. Unlike the stingray, its cousin, the devil ray does not have a stinging spine on its tail. Devil rays feed on fish and other small water animals that they sweep into their mouths with their horns. So tell me, friends, why do you think people have been afraid of the devil ray in the past? Is it because of their name, their appearance, or their behavior? Going back to our table of contents, our next animal is on page 36. That's right, friends, it's the man of war. It looks like, what other animal do you think? The text tells us, the man of war is frequently mistaken for a jellyfish. Sometimes called the Portuguese man of war, it is often seen in warm ocean and coastal waters. However, the man of war is not a single animal. It is actually a colony of different kinds of creatures that coexist. The blue 6-inch balloon, or float, keeps the colony on the surface. Streaming down from the float are hundreds of thin, stinging tentacles. Some tentacles are short, while others may reach a length of 40 feet or more. In just one tentacle, there are thousands of stingers that can hurt people as badly as the stings of a huge swarm of bees or wasps. The man of war catches small fish, shrimps, and other sea animals by stinging them and then digesting them. Men of war are carried by ocean currents and are often washed ashore. But even after a man of war is dead, the tentacles may still sting people who pick them up or stumble upon them in the sand. Our next animal is on page number 40. If you guessed coyote, you are correct. When the sun goes down, the coyote leaves its den and begins to serenade. It howls, barks, whines, and yaps. These sounds carry for miles around in the still night air. One lone coyote can sound like a whole pack. The coyote looks like a medium-sized dog with a bushy tail. Most coyotes steer clear of people, even though you may hear them singing their songs at night across the Northeast, South, and Midwest, as well as in the western states. Many sheep ranchers hunt coyotes because they think coyotes kill a lot of their animals. But coyotes do not kill many sheep. More often, they kill rabbits and mice that eat the grass that sheep need. So the coyote really does more good than harm to the sheep rancher. Our last animal is on page 42. That's right, the octopus. An octopus is a sea animal that seems to be all head and arms. The 8 arms, or tentacles, are long, and each one has 2 rows of suction discs that can hold tightly to almost anything. Octopuses live in the cracks between underwater rocks. Most octopuses are only about 2 or 3 feet long, but the largest ones may be as much as 30 feet across. An octopus eats crabs and lobsters, seizing them with its arms and breaking their shells with its sharp jaws. Some people think of an octopus as a terrible monster that attacks any diver swimming near its cave. But the octopus is really shy and harmless. It will never bite humans unless they are trying to capture it. Usually an octopus will spray a cloud of dark, inky fluid and try to escape instead of fighting back. Do you feel any differently about the animals in this book now that you know more about them? If you do, can you think of the reasons that made you change your mind? Perhaps you might make your own list of animals that you don't love, and think about why each of these animals is on your list. I hope you've enjoyed this, and stay tuned now for a few follow-up activities for animals nobody loves. Okay, readers, now that we've finished reading about some of the creatures and animals nobody loves, it's your turn. Pick one of the following activities to do at your own home. The first option is Do you feel differently about any of the animals we read about? Pick one animal and make a list of the reasons that made you change your mind about it. Or second, think of an animal that you don't love, whether it's a real one or a made-up one. Draw a picture of the animal and make one, or you can make one from things around your house with an adult's permission. Finally, you can choose the last option. If you had to take care of any of the animals we read about, which one would you pick and why? Draw a picture of what that might look like. I bet there could be some really creative ideas on that one out there. Finally, we would love it if you would be able to share your work with us. With an adult's permission and help, take a photo of your work and share it out using the hashtag #PPSReads. We can't wait to hear from you. Take care.